How do you invest in small apartment buildings? I know a lot of people want to get into the multifamily game, but they're not necessarily ready to jump into some of those bigger deals, higher sticker prices, and having to raise a little bit more capital. So how do you really get into the small deals? All that and more coming up. Is getting into small apartment buildings a good investment? And if so, how do you actually make that happen? In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 ways to start investing in small apartment buildings because I believe those are really, really good investments. Because one of the things you have to remember is a smaller apartment building doesn't necessarily mean a smaller return on investment. Sometimes smaller apartment buildings can have a really good return on investment. And oftentimes they don't get as much fanfare as the bigger deals, but they can be even a safer and better return. The very first thing you need to realize when investing in small multifamily buildings is it's no different than investing in large multifamily buildings. You still need to raise money, you still need to get a loan, you still need to underwrite the property and make sure the income and expenses align. You still need to hire a property manager. You still need to collect rent. You still need to make a mortgage payment. All of these things still need to happen. So don't invest in a small multifamily building just because you're nervous to go a little bit bigger. Invest in a small multifamily building because it yields a good return on investment. That's really why you should be investing there anyway. Because again, it doesn't matter if it's small or big. What you really need to make sure is it doesn't make money. And the second thing you want to realize when you're investing in a multifamily building of any size, especially small ones, is picking a market that will sustain growth. You want to make sure you pick markets that are very buy and hold friendly. What that means is it's markets where a lot of people are moving to, there's good job growth, people want to live there. You don't want to invest in multifamily buildings where people don't want to live anymore because that building's going to see a decline with the population. Every time you go into Google and you type in population of city, whatever city you're looking in, see the decline of population or the increase. I want you to start seeing that as your return on investment. That line, if it's going up, so will your return. If it's going down, your return is going to follow as well. But as I always say with markets, chase jobs, chase population, and make sure you're choosing a market that is landlord friendly. Make sure you're choosing a market that serves you good as a landlord and doesn't penalize you for seeking to get a tenant out that won't pay rent and hold up their end of the obligation. When they won't pay, they need to move on. And we need to be able to help them move on so that we can sustain a successful and healthy business. States that make it harder for us to do that are places we should avoid investing in multifamily real estate. But after you've picked that market and you have a really good market, you want to start locating agents and brokers in those markets that can start connecting you with deals. You're going to start to see a really big theme in multifamily. You pick the size of building you want, pick the market, now you move to the broker. You got to have somebody that's going to help you find these deals. And brokers, this is real estate agents and real estate brokers, are going to be able to connect you with deals you wouldn't be able to find without them. Can you go to the MLS and search the MLS sites? Absolutely. But multifamily real estate agents will help you find deals and connect you with sellers that haven't even put their home on the market yet. They're called off-market or pocket listings, and they're listings these brokers have that nobody else knows about. It's a good place for you to connect with multifamily deals and other multifamily real estate agents. Here's a couple ways to find brokers in those markets. I like to hit up the MLS, hit up loopnet.com, hit up Zillow, hit up realtor.com, hit up all these MLS sites and see who's listing, and I call those agents. Not necessarily for those properties, but calling those agents to see what other properties they may know of. That's a powerful way to use the MLS where everybody else is just thinking about the property that is on that page. I'm thinking about building a relationship with the broker or real estate agent that's on that page. Then when I call a broker, I kind of tell them my backstory, why I'm interested in investing in this market, why I think this market is really going to be a great market. Maybe the market's already doing amazing and you can tell them, I really love what I'm seeing in this specific market and I love to enter the investing game. Real estate agents and brokers love to hear your backstory about why you love the area that they already love. And then you want to give them what I call a property profile. A property profile simply is the size of building, how many units, what kind of income, what area. You're simply telling them what to look for. Here's the kind of property I'm looking for. And you hand that profile to them, and then when they see a property that fits that description, they can bring that property to you because you're the one that gave them that property profile. This has been one of the things I've used over the years that have helped surface deals and bring deals to me that other people aren't necessarily doing. This is a powerful tip for you to go apply immediately. Before I give you the last two strategies of landing small multifamily buildings, make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash that thumbs up button. We're so thankful you're joining us today. Now let's get back to the content. The next thing you want to do is locate a lending partner. And a lot of people will call banks directly, which is a great way to go, which isn't necessarily calling the direct lender that's going to loan you the money. And this is working with a loan or a mortgage broker. I work with a specific national broker who, when I tell him this is where I'm looking to invest, he will call up banks for me. It's just like a real estate broker who will look for properties. A mortgage broker will look for banks that have the programs that really fit the kind of properties you're investing in. So instead of calling one bank or two banks, by calling a broker, you can leverage hundreds of banks throughout the country that can bring you money and fit what you really are looking to do, and it can fit your financial structure. A mortgage broker will help you find what kind of loans are out there right now. What kind of loans are really hitting the market that a lot of investors are liking? What types of interest rates can you expect? What types of money do you need to bring to the table? A mortgage broker is a wealth of information to help you get a loan. And again, doesn't matter if you're buying small apartments or big apartments. You want to leverage bank money because of how low interest rates actually are. The other thing working with a bank will do is it'll help you know how much money you need to come up with. The bank will maybe tell you, we'll give you 80% or 75% or 70%. We need you to come up with the rest. And so by talking to a bank or a mortgage broker, you should get a pretty good idea of how much money you have to raise or come to the table with in order to make this deal happen. And then tip number 5 is raise the rest. What that means is after you've gotten a broker to find you a property, after you've gotten a mortgage broker to help find you a loan, and now you know how much money you need to bring to the table, go raise the rest. When you're investing in small multifamily apartment buildings, you want to leverage bank money. But you don't necessarily have to come out of pocket for that remainder. You can go partner with investors that put up that money and get a return, and you keep a percentage of the equity. You bring the deal, they bring the money. It's a really, really good match. But this is why starting with a small apartment building is a really good idea, because an investor may be interested in investing in something just a little bit smaller, something they can get their arms around, something they can get their head around, and they understand, oh, this is how this works. And it gives you a chance to build your relationships with investors, build your relationships with lenders and brokers, and really start building your team without the heavy risk of a large deal. But raising any kind of money for any kind of deal is going to continue to build that investor list and continue to change your life. And this is why I want you to raise money on every deal, because it really will change everything you know about real estate. But remember, investing in small apartment buildings, it's not settling, it's not missing out, it's not thinking small. Sometimes small apartment buildings have really great return. We don't necessarily invest in buildings just because of the unit count. We invest because they're really good returns on investment. And if you find a duplex, it's a better return on investment than a 20-unit apartment building, take that duplex every day of the week. I also have a free gift for you. I'd like to invite you to our multifamily masterclass. If you go down in the description, you can click that link and join the multifamily masterclass and join us where I teach people just like you how to get into multifamily real estate, even if they have no experience and even if they've never raised any private capital. Hope to see you there.